It wasn't a career high, but that was the most complete offensive game we'd ever seen from Evan Mobley. 33 points, 15 to 24 from the floor. Jason, what'd you make of Evan Mobley's performance in that game without many creators outside of Evan running alongside him? The big man stepped up when it mattered most.
You saw that it's in there. Mm-hmm. Now he's got to do it consistently. But I thought this was a really big series for him to really sort of show you. I mean, he can even be better than that in terms of rebounds. You know, we've seen obviously better rebounding nights out of him. But I just thought, like, this showed you it's in there. And if he is at the center spot, it doesn't put as much pressure on him to develop the three-point game that has been slow to come. You know, if they do have to move on from Jarrett at this point and Evan is your 5, it's not as much pressure on him to become the three-point shooter that we've said, you know, needs to be. Now, if it does develop, it's all the better. But I just think bringing him out of the post, bringing him more toward the top of the key, giving him room to operate, giving him room to move. He looked comfortable. He was aggressive. He was decisive. And this is – you got a little bit closer to seeing, like, what everyone has been saying. It's in there. It's in there. It's in there. No, he hasn't gotten it all. We haven't gotten it all out of him. But – it's in there. He can be that guy, and I think you saw that in this series.
I think what you said there, Jason, is something I was thinking. I'm so glad you said it because I like being on the same page with you when it comes to the Cavs. The first thing I thought about after watching Evan Mobley, not just yesterday, but this whole Celtics series, because he averaged over 20 points a game in this series. I know the 30, what do you have, 33 last night?
33 last night.
33, that put it over the top. But he had a great series. He really performed well in this series.
Yes.
I've never been more impressed with Evan Mobley than I have been against the Celtics. Because I thought, and I said in the Magic series, like, he kind of feels soft when he plays good teams. Now, I know the Celtics don't have a Joel Embiid or a big guy to
Porzingis was out.
Porzingis was out. But he was playing against the best team in the NBA that has 2 superstars. And there was no backing down at all, and he got better as the series went along. And I was thinking, maybe the answer is when if you trade Jarrett Allen, instead of this pressure to shoot threes, which he's clearly not comfortable with, he'll do it once in a while, but it's not his thing. Like, maybe he just needs to reinforce that post game, and because he was so aggressive, and I understand there were a lot of guys missing, but if you change the makeup of the team and he's the only big guy on the floor most of the time, then maybe his post game and the skills in the paint can really take over, and he can still shoot some threes, but it doesn't have to be a huge thing, and maybe that allows him to shine and reach maybe not the level we thought, but maybe a high enough level that we're like, this guy's pretty awesome.
And we just said Jarrett played in 77 straight games for the postseason, 81 consecutive games, so Evan really never had an opportunity this year to play without Jarrett until this series.
Yeah. I just thought he was incredible in this series. Maybe that's too strong, but I was so impressed.
I think a lot of people backed off of him after this series for sure. I mean, listen, you want to see how somebody performs. You put him up one against a team that's probably going to go to the championship, maybe even win the championship. How do you perform in those moments?
Yeah.
Back up against the wall. You have to be a star. You know, you've been blinded. You know, you've had DG, Donovan, Jarrett, all these people step up to where it could be your turn to have a good game. Till now where you have to be that guy. We depended on you to be that guy. Darius ain't getting it done. We need somebody else to step up. And I thought he really asserted himself for sure. Now, he still needs to get stronger down there,
Definitely.
you know, to stop some stuff and be able to do a couple of more post moves down there. But I think he's got a complete game. I think that he's played so well that they're comfortable with being able to look into moving off of Jarrett Allen because it's like, okay, let's see what this thing will look like if Jarrett Allen isn't there. Can Evan Mobley handle it? What's the best way? Go up against a team that's a championship caliber team and see if he can hold his own. And I think he did that. How I think the Cavs can help him is they need to get taller. They need more size on the team. It's too many just small guys. You get more taller guys in there, that helps him be better in rebounding. Now he doesn't have to think to himself, I'm the only guy that can rebound and we're going to miss out and lose the rebound count. We get other guys that contribute to being able to rebound with him. Now you can run 5 out with him because he does have the ability. Whether he's comfortable or not, he's put on tape in the playoffs that he can hit threes. So as a defender, I'm still going to slide out there, which clears the paint up for maybe a Donovan to cut and take his guy and get a backdoor cut and stuff like that.
I'll tell you, there was something else about Mobley that really impressed me. I'm going to tell you what that is in about 10 minutes. But first, let's send it to Mike for a guest.
Yeah, we actually have one of the smartest basketball minds I know joining us right now, and it is Jason Hooten, who's the head coach at New Mexico State basketball for the men's basketball team. I got to know Coach Hooten really well when he was at Sam Houston State. He took the job at New Mexico, and he's going to hop on to answer some big-picture basketball questions with us as he drives to his daughter's state softball game. So he's actually in the car. But we appreciate Coach Hooten for joining us, who I haven't seen in a couple of years. Coach, been a while, man. How you been?
Man, I don't know about that intro. Smartest basketball mind you know. I don't know. You may not know a lot of people.
Coach, we appreciate you
I'm doing good.
We appreciate you taking the time to join us. We were just talking about Evan Mobley, and overall, we as fans have felt kind of disappointed in him this year, but he changed our mind in a big time way against the Boston series, or in the Boston series. What are your thoughts on him? Not only how he played against Boston, but just in general, moving forward in the NBA?
Well, I got to be totally transparent and honest with you guys. So since my move to New Mexico, the hardest thing for me to get used to is the games on the East Coast coming on at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's been really weird for me. I have not watched as much of that series as I really wanted to. So I've only caught bits and pieces. But I just think that the thing that, and so I'm kind of a Maverick fan, and so I have watched those because they don't come on until, later on, in the evening. So I've been able to watch some of those. But I think the biggest thing, for example, I guess I can compare it to the two guys that the Mavericks have right now, the Lively and the Gafford guy. Man, they're so athletic and long and active that defensively, the Mavericks are just sending everything to the basket. They're running everybody off the three-point line, and so they're not giving teams wide open threes. And then when they drive to the basket, those guys are so long and protect the rim so well. And I just think that is, to me, that was the biggest difference in the Celtic and Cavs series. Is just, besides Jarrett, who else is going to be that guy who can – and then, the hard part is being able to rebound still physically. So it's hard. It's hard playing small ball. I know everybody likes it now. Everybody wants to do it. But, again, just trying to find those pieces and those guys that can, that can be able to do both.
Can you play two non-shooting bigs in the NBA today when you're talking Jarrett and Evan? Like, how successful can that truly be, do you think?
Whew, man, I just think extremely hard if you're going to play that way because it's like old school, right? Being able to play, quote unquote, two inside guys, maybe. It's hard, I think. I think if you do that, those guys have to be really good at other things. So they've got to be tremendous defenders. They've got to be tremendous rebounders. And then, on the flip side of that, your three guards or whoever those guys are that you're putting out there, I mean, they got to be just unbelievably on point every night. And they've all three probably got to be able to average, 20 points a game. I know that sounds crazy, but in this day and age of NBA basketball, that's probably realistic, isn't it?
Coach, when you look at this Cavs team, right now they got two things that a lot of people say you shouldn't do. They got two non-shooting bigs, and they got two small guards. But this team made it to the second round of the playoffs. And up until last night, everybody thought that this team would be back. Do you think that they should run it back again and try to enhance, maybe find one more piece? Or do you think it's best that they break the two small guards and the two non-shooting bigs and move on from one of each?
No, I think they got it. I think they got to keep it together, don't you? I mean, it's young. Like, to me, look at the Celtics, and to me right now, the reason they're where they're at is because how many times have they gotten there and tasted it and yet still not been able to get over the hump? So if you keep those kind of groups together and you make a few changes here and there, don't you eventually feel like that gives you the best chance to break through? I mean, you look at, like, right now, look at Minnesota and OKC. Okay. And again, those series are way, way from being over. But they're young, and it's like they just are getting there. Whereas if you look at Denver, and really, to be honest with you, maybe even the Mavericks, because of Kyrie and Luka, those guys are more experienced, and they've kind of been there and done that, and they've gotten really, really close, but yet, they've failed, so to speak. And so I just think that experience of getting there every year and keep going back. I mean, the Celtics have just kind of kept going back and kept going back. And, maybe this is their time to break through, but I think it's way too early for Cleveland to mantle that. I mean, right now that's just way, way too soon, I think.
Mom.
I see Coach dealing with this car in the back. Hey, Coach, real quick, and then we'll let you get out of here and get to your daughter's softball game. And good luck to her in the state tournament.
Oh, you're fine.
How much leeway do you give a player before you decide he either is or isn't what you thought he could be? Like whether it's a young guy in the NBA, a young guy you recruit, how much leeway do they get before you're able to make a definitive decision or determination on what that player could and actually is?
Well, this is way different than the NBA. Golly, that leash is really shorter in college now with the portal and, all those different things. It's hard, right? Because player development, you still.
It looks like we're losing Coach. Unfortunately, the connection is.
Well, I think that.
Hey, Coach, I think
Hello?
unfortunately we lost you. I think the Albuquerque back roads got you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Hold
it.
on a
Coach.
sec.
We'll get Coach Hooten on when he's not in the car another time. Coach, we appreciate you making some time. Sorry the connection did not work out as we hoped. But Coach Hooten's the best. If you're not a New Mexico State fan, you should check him out because Coach Hooten is
The Lobos,
one of
right?
best
The
guys.
Lobos?
No, that
Mexico State?
the Aggies. New Mexico.
Oh, the Aggies. New Mexico's the Lobos.
Yeah, don't you dare
New
get
Mexico
those
State's the
confused.
Aggies. Sorry. I wanted to get back to Evan Mobley here because another thing that stood out to me in this series, guys, was his passing ability. I mean, we've known it and we've seen it, but it really stood out. I mean, he averaged 21.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, and I want to say like 4 assists a game in this series. And that's a skill that a lot of big guys don't have. The ability to get the ball in the paint and then kick it back out with accurate passes. And he was getting these assists without Donovan Mitchell in a lot of these games, with Darius Garland, who outside of Game 4 didn't shoot very well. There's just a lot to like about what he did in this series.
It tells you that he does pay attention because when we got to about, I think it was like right when him and Darius came back to the lineup, we talked about Jarrett Allen's passing ability. How when he gets the ball, he actually makes some really good passes when he's running the pick and roll and he ended up getting the ball. So it shows that Evan paid attention and he picked up a thing or two because now he could be more of an offensive threat, obviously, than Jarrett Allen because he has that shooting ability to where if you run and pick and rolls with him, now that he's a passer, now he's a triple threat. He can pass the ball, drive to the lane, or he can shoot the ball, which makes him very dangerous. So like I say, he earned a lot of respect from me, and that's why I think moving forward, it's going to be some tough decisions being made.
He's due for an extension this summer.
Yeah.
I think he's getting the max.
And the last time we did that, it didn't work out well.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great transition to the other max player on the roster, Darius Garland.
Yeah.
On
What
the
are we
one
getting
hand,
for him in
Evan
the trade?
played great yesterday. On the other, Darius
with
did not.
you?
So is this just – and I know we talked about the potential of it being his last game in Cleveland earlier, just from an actual on-the-court standpoint. Can you trust Darius to be more consistent moving forward? Is this just a season from hell, or – how do you kind of evaluate the up and down tumultuous season that we saw from Darius Garland, a former All-Star this year?
Do anybody know, is it anything personal in his life that's going on
He lost his grandma.
Yeah,
this
his grandma
season.
died.
this year?
This year, yeah.
I wonder if that's like affecting him a little bit. Cause
I mean, it's been a tough year for him.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
know.
I'm not one to give up on nobody because I seen what I seen with him before,
Yes.
and it's there.
Right,
Like this
yes.
man had everybody in the NBA back when the Cavs really wasn't. When they was on the rise but wasn't a top team, everybody in the NBA was talking about how special this guy is, the talent that he has. I can't imagine that it just is gone. Like, there's no way.
Well, we'll find out when he's playing for somebody else. Mike, where they trading him? Jason, where they trading him? Let's
But
go.
no, it's
Let's
not
stop
that. It's
Go
not
ahead.
that simple.
It's not.
No.
Well, you just said they're going to trade him.
If Donovan doesn't
Right.
resign,
Okay. Well, then
if
they're
you have
going
to
to
move-
trade Donovan.
If you have to move on from Donovan, you're not going to trade Darius too.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
I would have full faith in a Darius Evan pairing going forward. I would. Like, Darius had a terrible year this year.
Yeah.
He's still a good player. I can't explain why he had a bad year, but
Right.
you're right. It's in there. We've seen it. Again, this guy was on the U.S. select team just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That select team is the guys who are going to be taking over the league 3 years from now or whatever
Right,
it
but
is.
can you
3-4
trust
years
him
from
to
now.
lead a team if he's immature?
That is a little bit, yeah, I said it earlier. I do think
Yeah.
that he comes off as immature. And whether or not he is or not, that's
Yeah.
the way that he's like, everything's
Right.
just a joke and he's laid back
Yeah.
and just, you want to see a little bit more.
Was Kyrie
Grab hold of
immature
it.
when he was here early before LeBron?
He just didn't talk to nobody.
Kyrie was,
No, I'm just asking. Did he have that
was
reputation?
Kyrie immature? Yeah, Kyrie's immature.
Yeah.
Before LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Like, but in his defense, he was 19 when he got here.
Right,
Kind of
and
like,
he
kind of
had
like
no
Darius.
talent.
Where is
around.
Darius? How old is Darius? 23?
Darius is in his 5th year.
So he's probably around
So
there.
24?
24, so, yeah, somewhere around there.
So, but okay.
Darius is 24. He turned 24 in January of this year.
All right. So the bottom line is the Cavs are very likely going to trade either Darius or Donovan this
Yes.
offseason. I think as a fan, you got to hope the guy they trade is Darius because you'd rather have Donovan than Darius, right? I mean, wouldn't we all feel that way?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go into that assumption for now that they signed Donovan. Obviously, we don't know that that's going to happen, but if they're able to sign Donovan, what do we think are the best options for trading Darius?